Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, August 21st, 2012. Welcome to the Sports Blitz. I'm your host, Daniel Fleming. I'm so excited. We're just 11 days away now from Alabama's first game against the Michigan Wolverines. It's going to be played on Saturday, September 1st at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. You can catch the game at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time on ABC. And this week, we're going to talk a little bit this week about Alabama's offense and their special teams. And next week, I'll preview Alabama's defense, and I'll give you my prediction on how I think Alabama's going to do this year. When you talk about Alabama's offense, the main guy that everybody talks about right off the bat is the quarterback, A.J. McCarron, number 10. He's a junior this coming season, and he's obviously expected to lead this offense and to elevate the receivers and the other skill position players as far as what they do, and obviously making the correct throws and putting them, in the right position, to make plays. I think that's going to be very important for AJ. He had an outstanding year last year. He was named the MVP of the national championship game against LSU, which Alabama won, of course, 21-0. And last season, he had 2,634 passing yards with 16 passing touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. So obviously, he did an outstanding job as far as taking care of the football. And like I said, I would expect Alabama's offense, led by their new offensive coordinator, Doug Nussmeier, to give A.J. a lot more freedom and to trust him a lot more with the football and to make a lot more big plays down the field in the passing game. I think that's going to be very important, so we'll have to see if A.J. is able to do that on a consistent basis this up-and-coming season. Heaven forbid if A.J. gets hurt, the backup quarterback for Alabama is number 12, Philip Eli. He's a redshirt freshman. He's not a very big guy. He's only about 6'1", but he has a very strong arm. And really the main thing that he's lacking is experience. And we'll have to see how much experience he gets this season. And if something does happen, we'll have to see how he's able to respond and how quickly he can get a comfort level with playing on the big stage at the University of Alabama. Now, as far as the running backs are concerned, there's as many as 4 running backs that Alabama is going to use, but I think there's 2 that really stand out to me. And obviously the starter is going to be senior Eddie Lacy, number 42. He had a very good season last year, and for his career, he's averaged 7.2 yards a carry, which is an outstanding average. The main concern with Eddie Lacy is his health. He's battled some turf toe issues and some sprained ankle issues throughout his career. So we'll have to see if he's able to stay healthy and if he can carry the load as the feature back for Alabama this coming season. Of course, Alabama lost Trent Richardson to the NFL this past season. And the other running back who is obviously getting a lot of rave reviews is Daphne native and true freshman TJ Yeldon, number 4. He had an outstanding A-Day game, which of course the A-Day game is the spring scrimmage for Alabama. It takes place every April. He enrolled in school early, a semester early, and I really think that's going to give him a leg up as far as learning the offense and what to do and how to handle certain situations. And like I said, TJ Yeldon is a very physical talent. And of course, he, like I said, played at Daphne High School in Daphne, Alabama, and was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, which is the best you can do. So we'll have to see how he does this coming season. I think he's going to have an outstanding career at Alabama, assuming that he stays healthy. Now, the wide receiver group for Alabama is not a very strong point. I don't feel, of course, they lost Marquise Mays. He graduated this past season. He was their best receiver last season. There's not really a home run hitter necessarily for the Alabama wide receiver group, but there is a lot of experience, and the receiving group is going to be led by a pair of juniors, Kenny Bell, number 7, and Kevin Norwood, number 83. And I think that sophomore DeAndrew White, number 2, is going to get a lot of looks as well as number 22, Christian Jones. And we'll have to see how he does this season. I'm going to talk a little bit more about him in just a minute. Now, the tight end group, I feel, will be a strength for Alabama this season. They've got 2 very physical and very big targets at the tight end position. You've got senior Michael Williams, number 89. He's 6'6" and weighs 269 pounds and has excellent hands for a tight end. And his backup is sophomore Brian Vogler, number 84. He's 6'7" and weighs 258 pounds. So like I said, both of these guys are big physical receivers, and they can block as well, which is very important. As a tight end, you have to be able to block as well as be able to catch the ball. So I fully expect both of those guys to have solid years this coming season. Now, my favorite part of this Alabama offense is the offensive line. David Pollack from ESPN called this the best offensive line in the country, and he'll certainly get no argument from me. This offensive line features 4 seniors, so it's a very experienced offensive line, and to me it's led by the center, Barrett Jones, number 75. He has had an outstanding career at Alabama, and what's amazing is that he's played basically every position on the offensive line. He's a 2-time All-American. He was an All-American at guard in 2010, and he was an All-American as a tackle last year, and he also won the Outland Trophy last year, which is given to the best offensive lineman in the country. And to me, he's one of the most intelligent players that Alabama has ever had. So I fully expect him to have an outstanding year. Like I said, he's moving to center, so obviously he'll be the one snapping the ball, and he's had plenty of time to develop a chemistry, with A.J. McCarron as far as being able to snap the ball and have that be a seamless play, basically. So I think Barrett Jones is going to have another outstanding year at Alabama. And when you talk about the right side of the offensive line, you've got Anthony Steen, a right guard, number 61. And then at right tackle, you have DJ Fluker, who played his high school ball at Foley High School in Foley, Alabama, number 76. He's just an absolute beast at 6'6", 335 pounds. He's an outstanding offensive lineman, especially as a run blocker. So we'll see how he does this season. I fully expect him to be drafted in the 1st or 2nd round of next April's NFL draft. Now moving to the left side of the offensive line, you've got senior Chance Warmack, who is another great run blocker and who has a lot of experience. He'll be a 3-year starter this season, number 65. And then you've got the youngster on the offensive line, but he is an outstanding prospect, number 71, sophomore Cyrus Quanjo. And obviously Nick Saban has a lot of trust in him because he's going to be starting him at left tackle, which you want to put one of your best offensive linemen at left tackle if you have a right-handed quarterback, because the left tackle protects your quarterback's blind side. And like I said, Cyrus Quanjo was an outstanding prospect in high school. He's from the Baltimore, Maryland area. And he suffered an injury last year, but he's back 100% this year. And like I said, Nick Saban has a lot of trust in him to put him at left tackle. So I fully expect him to have an outstanding year. Now, as far as Alabama's special teams are concerned, they're bringing back both of their place kickers and their punter. Of course, last year, Alabama used junior Cade Foster, number 43, and senior Jeremy Shelley, number 90. That's the years that they're going to be this year. Like I said, Cade Foster is going to be a junior this year. Jeremy Shelley is going to be a senior. And I fully expect both of those guys to improve upon what they did last year. Of course, they missed, several field goals in the first meeting between Alabama and LSU. But Jeremy Shelley in particular was able to redeem himself in the national championship game. So I fully expect both of those guys to have a better year than they had last year. And Alabama also signed a highly recruited kicker named Adam Griffith, but I would imagine that it would probably take an injury for him to get on the field this season, since Alabama already has 2 place kickers who have some experience. And Alabama's punter this year will once again be junior Cody Mandel, number 29. Last year he averaged just over 39 yards per punt. So we'll have to see if he can improve upon those numbers this year. And I mentioned Christian Jones earlier. It looks like he's going to be the one that's going to replace Marquise Mays as the punt returner, which obviously it's very important to have an explosive player as your punt returner. So we'll have to see how he does this year. Physically, he's built similar to Marquise Mays. He's 5'11" and weighs only 175 pounds, but obviously he's quick as a hiccup. So we'll have to see how he does this upcoming season. So like I said, that's about it for this week. Next week, I'll preview Alabama's defense. So I hope you guys will join me for that. And like I said, thank you guys so much for watching.